back audio to annoy me. Please let me know though if there's anybody here, if the audio's whack. If the audio will be whack as shit, we will adjust accordingly. Probably just do this as long as I feel like it. Hey! John has entered the atmosphere. Today we got some good old basics. I'm just gonna follow the indents, do some basic dark blues, and then we're gonna go for some of those bright iridescent veins of mineral here. Oh, it's a little hard to hear me. Let me adjust that then. Maybe turning the volume down on the music will assist on that. But either way, I'll try not to do as much talking unless there's questions or thoughts that point to my mind here, but I'm gonna go smaller. Good to see you guys. Hey! Oh, nice. Yeah, I lowered the volume about 12 notches there, so if things get whack again, we'll readjust further here. We're gonna go rough with this, kind of like how nature will compress. Get some compression going. Yeah, this will dry darker than what it may look on screen. And then after this, I'll mix up the iridescent pearl stuff. Put that on. I got a special tool here for that. We're gonna go nice and slow for step 2, but I mean, hey, we got an hour to work with. The southwest smoke has made a crash landing into the live stream. We are creating the Cobalt Earth formations now that 3 days have passed and all the sand mixture of paint has dried up. I'm going to be painting first this more darker blue into the recessed portions, and then we're going to make some iridescent pearl bright blue stuff to symbolize a sort of rare gem from interdimensional places, perhaps. I'm only gonna, like I said, focus on these recessed parts because I want to give it real natural dynamic. I'm not gonna really think about it too much. There are some places where the gray didn't quite cover too, so I'm gonna use that as a sign from the universe that I should put some there. There we go. You guys may have seen this. This was the pink core rock painting that I was working on last week. These do take quite a while to dry because they are behemoths. About 12 pounds again for this bad boy. Took about 4 days to get it fully dry and solid. In the meantime, while it was drying, I reinforced the frame with contact cement. Because yeah, these are, especially if I'm bringing them back and forth to galleries one day or anywhere else, shipping them, I don't want anything to crack or lose its shape, so I really loaded on contact cement on each of the junctions, then the cross center and each where those panels will align. Oh, the music! Just saw your message there. This is Marconi Union Weightless, the 10-hour version. And now I've got a little snazzy chat set up. We'll do one of these for you. Put it in the chat for you there too, just in case audio doesn't go through or anything like that. By far one of my favorite tracks to listen to doing pretty much anything. If I gotta work, if I gotta journal. Truly, it's honestly a masterpiece in my honest opinion. The bass is set to the natural heartbeat of a mother's heart as she's carrying a child to term. So it's crafted even further to be soothing and non-intrusive to what you may be doing. Appreciate all you guys tuning in, to be honest. I was later than usual, but figured I'd get some dinner in my stomach and get some things more fixed up before I started, because now I have a lot more time than I might have had earlier. But yeah, we're just gonna be cranking away. We're not really thinking too much about where this blue is gonna go. We're just letting the natural rock pattern guide us. Again, just focusing on the recessed parts, leaving the upper hand generative structures to be left alone. This might seem familiar to a few pieces of media out there too. I know, like Terraria and maybe even Minecraft, I'm not sure, has colors similar to this. But I'm not really looking to recreate those games, more just the deeper dynamics of Earth and how things might settle into place. This is kind of the approach I do for all my interdimensional geology series. Just letting the piece guide where I'm going to put brush strokes in, and not really pressing too hard either, so that the sand can catch the bristles and add even more variety. Yeah, this is turning out exactly as I was hoping. I was worried putting the first bits of this color on because I didn't want it to be too bright, but yet not too dark either, and this is exactly as I was kind of planning. Once we get the pearl going, it'll be even brighter. I might even use the same blue and put some iridescent medium in there and just keep it simple like that. Make sure it doesn't get too white either. I want to keep this sort of like you'd find any kind of ore around, to be honest. There's lots of natural lines in here and natural sort of pathways that I can get going. Oh, this is actually my first live, John. Yeah, this is just kind of a spur of the moment thing that I came up with the random idea to have today. Especially because got all my homework finished. I got a few days to just kind of kick back and take things easy. Especially now that this is dry, I've been super excited to get going on it. After this one, I already got another one planned too. I'll do another black, solid black rock form and use rose gold instead of regular. Yeah, really today is just a nice day too, weather-wise over here. I'm not sure if you've had sporadic cloud cover where you're at, but over here we've had it for almost the whole day, which has felt really nice. It's It's also kind of preparing me for further streaming ideas I might want to do. Somebody saw my somebody saw my 4 digital photo projects where I styled myself up with different haircuts and outfits and said I should look into commissioning a VTuber model. And I was like, oh, that might be pretty interesting for a couple of those. So maybe even I'd throw that in with some live action stuff and just keep things interesting. Like if I do digital work on the computer, maybe that would fit in. Use the model for anything to do on the computer, and then my physical self for all this kind of good stuff. Yeah, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat every 2 or 3 minutes for you guys, just to make sure I'm not leaving anybody hanging here. Appreciate everyone stopping by. Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to come by, hang out, especially just to see what you guys have been up to, and that'd be kick-ass. Heck yeah, count me in for that. I could send you a text after this just to see when you guys might have the best time to chill out. But yeah, I could bring over a speaker or whatever you guys are feeling like, just to tie off a nice week. School's been very smooth sailing, so I definitely am glad to have some extra time compared to what I was almost assuming at the beginning. Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Considering how long these things take to dry too, I'm kind of just sitting around some days just waiting and doing other stuff, so like I said, you guys are top of my list as far as favorite things I enjoy doing and hanging out with you guys. Oh yeah, this blue is turning out so nice. I think Instagram live streams last an hour. Figured I might just run it down, see how far we get, and then finish the rest offline. It's always hard to judge how I'll end up going about these things as far as time length, and if I start catching more ridges that I missed and all that good stuff. Oh yeah, I did get the ticket. Yes, sirree. Oh yeah, I didn't send you a message on that. Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I got that, I think, Thursday night. I was a little late to the party because I had to get some school supplies, but they were all set and ready to go on that as well. This is really nice and subtle. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, the screen's looking pretty accurate to what the picture's looking like. It's a little bit washed out, but as usual, I'll have pictures going out once this is all said and done. Thinking of naming this one Cole's Frost Mane. I'm not sure. I'll definitely name it Cole something to symbolize possession of somebody out in the universe. Am I using acrylic? Yes, sirree. Good old acrylic. Keeping it nice and simple, especially for ventilation, you can really get a nasty monster going. Some of those oil-based behemoths. I'll probably get more into that though, to be honest, now that I have more garage space and overall space that's ventilated to be able to utilize. It's nice too, because then I can sort of work in one spot with this acrylic, and then as I'm working in the other spot, it dries pretty much quick enough to where I'll be able to do the iridescent stuff right on top of it, the same session. Focusing on the top part here first, and I'll probably pull up my chair and do the bottom half after, just to switch it up. It's almost therapeutic in a way to do these, because the cores I put on are naturally very sporadic and unpredictable as far as grains of sand included. So a lot of this is predestined locations that I'm sort of just setting a condition in my mind at the beginning. Like some of them I'll look for cracks or formations that symbolize loose cracking, or like for this one I'll focus on all the recessed areas, and then for others I combine the two, maybe go for the peaks only. Just sort of think like if I was in this universe mining underground and we somehow got a slab out, some sort of rough slab, how it might look to the eye before being crushed down and refined for this unique material that may exist within. I was reading Stephen Wolfram's A New Kind of Science for this one to get an idea of how deep-seated minerals and other crystals are formed under different conditions, and for this interdimensional geology series, I've stuck to the field of compressionary dynamics, where everything is super squeezed down, and when everything is squeezed down, the minerals tend to find their way into the softer parts of things first, and all that nice concentrate finds its way. Oh yeah, this is so kick-ass. I'm excited to get the pictures for this one already. It's not even done. Just one of those. Just seems to work out for all these, to be honest. It might seem super complicated, but realistically, this is all predestined. Like, I'm just looking for essentially where the shadows are heaviest, as well as these like recessed areas. Oh yeah, 3D printer. Might be able to do one of these. There she is in the corner, orange machine. It's a Prusa MK3S Plus kit. And I can do anything from tool holders to containers, 3D models, anything that you want. Honestly, like if you, Michael, any of the other guys want tool holders, oh here, I'll write in the chat too. There's a spot you can go to. I think this is the website, printables.com. It's by that same company. And whether you want something that's already pre-made on there, or if you want to work on figuring out an idea for my actual 3D modeling program, can get you guys hooked up with some pretty kick-ass levels of stuff, to be honest. Get some more paint on here. This one might even enable some big gem-like formations I might be able to put on here. Big, high concentrated, shiny sort of elements might be, especially right where I was just putting paint on. Might be a pretty solid move to make, depending on how good the mixed up stuff goes once I mix the pearl in. I got a little shot glass ready for that once we got the base coat put on. If we even get to that, I'm not sure exactly how long these streams go. I assume an hour, because that's what it was like years ago. But either way, we're just taking our time, sort of letting it. It's almost like water too, how it's in these valleys and sort of self-contained lower elevation portions. Oh, Creality printer, that's kick-ass too. I would say that's like top 3 of what I've been looking into as far as brands go. It's like you can go Bamboo Labs, Creality, or Prusa. Those are pretty dang solid if you ask me. I'll have to check that out. Might come by. I've been super into this technology. It's almost mesmerizing to watch. Like, I'm still training myself to not watch the printer the entire time that I'm using it. But like, even if you guys are doing stencil work, like for your cars or any sort of paint where you need preset dimensions to like block paint or lettering, I made myself a whole A through Z and 1 through 9 set of modular pieces that can be scaled to any size your heart desires. I think there's another website for free models too. It's like if you spell the word things but with an A instead of an I, Fangs. It's like fangs.org or something, or .com. It's spelled all like a meme spelling. Yeah. Getting these blues put in, everything's taking shape. For those wondering, pieces like this rock style sort of umbrella of things, if you have paint mediums that are sort of separating out or getting old to where they kind of resemble egg yolk, you can revitalize pretty much the entirety of something old by mixing sand in with just some loose levels of regular fresh paint into it, and get full use out of stuff that might be going to waste. So like a lot of the stuff I've had for a handful of months that I had forgotten about, I just threw it all into a cup to where it essentially looked like vomit. But then you just throw some fresh paint in there and it makes a nice fresh color, and then you can slather it on in an unpredictable fashion and it dries just the same. And honestly, if there's some chunks in it, they'll flatten out and become part of the texture in a very nice, non-weird looking way. Like it really adds to the rock randomness of things overall, and you can save a crap load of money Speaking of, I just happened to think of something. You mentioned a new phone there earlier, John. What did you end up getting? There we go, my air conditioning finally kicked off, so maybe things will get a little easier to hear as well. It was running there a good handful of time. Oh, nice. Pixel 9 Pro XL. I'm most likely going to be switching back to the Pixel series after my phone starts taking a dump. Those are some good pieces of hardware all around, especially the camera. I had so much fun with... I mean, man, I got mine back when the Pixel color variations were coming out or something. And it lasted me a long time before I had the one or the Samsung phone I currently have. It's kick-ass. You got the XL too. You get to benefit off of that bigger battery. Right to the edge on this as well. Yeah, we want to, as natural as possible that we can get this, then the better. Nature has a unique way of creating borders without creating borders, but for this series, I want it to resemble exactly like we're pulling this out of the earth straight up from a mining operation without any refinements, any sort of human touch at all, pretty much. Just keeping it as naturally existing as we possibly can. This is something we can even do one of these times too. You and Michael and any of the other guys who are interested, we can come over to the garage here and start applying some cores to a fresh canvas. I got like 5 ideas for this that we could get started, and genuinely there's no way to mess up cores. Like you just dump a big old glass of goop onto the canvas and just spread it out until it's flat. And you let it dry a little bit before you do the new one, and then everything takes shape like this. I really don't have to put a lot of work into creating the baselines for it. Oh, nice. Yeah, the colored ones did get dirty. It was like whatever plastic polymer that they used, it was like holding on to dirt like no tomorrow. But the fact you got a $200 credit to get yourself some pixel buds too, I mean, damn. Talk about a score. Getting pretty close, I think, to this top part being complete. All the big stuff, but we're gonna keep trucking on. Anything that sticks out to my eye as being recessed is something that I just put some paint on, follow the natural lines. Oh yeah, for sure. You guys are welcome anytime, especially now that we got a lot more space. I could take us on a field trip out here one of these times. Drive you guys here and back. Save gas that way too. Put some there. I like this top part. I might leave most of it untouched to give it like a real unique sort of look, like how nature will have big old spots of just nothing formed sometimes. Keep it like more densely packed onto the other little ridges we got here. Oh, right? The blue is so cool, huh? It looks so exactly like I hoped in person, like the Cobalt style of... I mean, I keep thinking Terraria, but just from certain images I saw too, it turned out so nice. And then especially once I get that brighter, more centralized diamond stuff in there, the light will actually reflect blue off of it. So it won't just be blue paint, but it'll also be blue reflective particles inside of the paint. And I'll apply that with a toothpick, keep it extra sparse. Oh yeah, so for this painting I will be using the turquoise I got here. It's just a good old turquoise blue, and then after that I'm gonna mix the turquoise blue with my pearl, my blue pearl medium, and then it'll give it that real nice shiny, almost like uncut opal look, like how opal has those different colors in it. It'll give it that when it's reflected into the light, so the blue paint and that will reflect blue light. This is sort of like the base coat, give me an idea where the minerals will naturally lie. And then considering how fast it dries, we'll just be able to kick right off and get that, I call it high, well, I mean, I have a few different terms for it, but I would say high value mineral material will be in the centers of these, so it's almost like the cobalt forms around the valuable parts. Kind of like how malachite and turquoise form together, along with like malachite and chrysocolla and stuff like that. For other paintings though, I'll probably do a dark brown one of these with copper, like some bright copper, and then I'm thinking another black slab with rose gold. So we'll have to see. And then honestly, I might try to mimic the natural formations of South Mountain in a way too, and then maybe do copper on that one as well. Because yeah, this is by far some of my favorite styles to do. I haven't really seen a lot of this on Instagram, to be honest, but either way, I'm looking to sort of follow our Arizona geology in some sort of passive direction too. Backwards with paintings like this too. The initial setup, the big coats and big initial processes of this takes faster than like other paintings where sometimes the base coats are quick to put on and then the details are slower, but it's almost opposite. Not all the time, but really fun dynamic how these work, and given how there's sand in here, it almost helps the paint dry faster, which is helpful because it like absorbs, not everywhere, but sometimes the paint is a little thinner in the gray and it'll take on more or less paint in certain areas too, which just works in my favor, keeping things random and as sporadic as I intend to sort of mimic nature. Oh, so for the textures, I mixed a whole bunch of sand and various sands from around here, actually. I got some sand for Rancho Del Mar Park. I got some sand from a park here for a different project. One of the projects, I got some sand from South Mountain. But I mixed that in with a whole bunch of my paint that's getting older. So like the older stuff. I mix into this and then it sort of revitalizes the about to expire paints that I had without anything going to waste, which is equally as awesome for me, given how much I hate wasting stuff. Oh yeah, so to get the sand, I got a trowel out, brought that out with me, and then I can grab one for you here. I have a whole bunch of various tools. But this is one. I got about 12 others in different shapes and stuff, and I also got smaller ones. Just to mix it all in a glass cup. And then one cup at a time, I put everything on, giving it just enough time to dry where it won't be smearing around anymore, but it'll take on more paint for more texture. And then yeah, it's sort of just everything is mindlessly thrown on the canvas by me, just without really thinking about it. I just try to get it as random as possible, and I use different colors of the cores to keep track of how high and low things might be, and also to keep it balanced so it can hang on a wall without being heavy one side or the other. And then after it all dries, it kind of makes everything a lot more profound and drastic as far as the texture goes, because the sand won't get lower with time, but as the paint dries, it'll recede and shrink down. So the sand also saves me a lot of work. Yeah, this is exactly as I'm hoping it will be, that's for sure. Took about it was like 3 to 5 days probably for all of it to dry. And then once I put the gray on, took about another full day just to make it not smudgy. Yeah, at this point, we're just kind of following the natural low places of elevation. Give it just a very loose guideline. And even if there's shapes that look odd, like this might look odd and stuff like that, but really, nature is so interesting with how it does everything, to where I kind of just let whatever ends up drying guide my hand. Thanks, dude. super fun. And yeah, like I was saying, haven't really seen anything like this on Instagram as far as the rock slabs go. People used various mediums and sometimes like glass beads and ceramic stucco and stuff like that, but people most of the time make patterns and more like deliberate spreads of that, and it's not really like similar to these. So it's kind of something I latched onto just so I'm not accidentally like ripping off somebody's idea or anything like that unintentionally. But at the same time, I still use similar techniques to what those guys probably use. I'd say we're just about through the top part. Not really seeing much that I could accentuate. There's always possibility for more though, especially as I start looking into these. One of these slabs could take a handful of hours before I'm satisfied, but it could also take just a little bit to kind of get the basic forms down. And then, yeah, like I said, once all this glue's on, putting the diamond-like substance is even faster, because I'll just, right in the center of all these, put that brighter substance in. And that's even faster, because I really don't have to make any sort of decisions or look around further as to like what the rock is doing. I sort of like to imagine this piece of rock is like something that might even come out of Starfield. One of those many planets we've seen that are all like doom and gloom grays and deeper blues and stuff like that. There's so much like potential fun when it comes to this sort of rock slab, because even if somebody had a suggestion from a certain world or piece of media that I haven't seen before, like it might even influence more possibility. See, up here is more accurate to where everything that's dried so far is definitely as I intended. I tried to do a lot of prep here beforehand to put some colors on a palette and just let them dry so I can see the final, once all the solvent is evaporated, because some of these paints will look the exact same as you put them on, and some of these paints will darken. And some of these paints will darken or lighten depending on what you're painting on. So yeah, I tried to do a lot of prep work before the live stream just so I avoided redos and sort of maybe potential gross outcomes. I might even try to do like a uranium-based rock slab, like maybe after I look up some pictures on it. Might be worth a shot to give that a try. process of eliminating options until there aren't really any options for me to want to paint on anymore. Kind of just let the rock guide me. And it really comes down to how you want it to look. For me, I'm super intense when it comes to wanting every bit of low spot to be filled, or at least the drastic low spots to be filled. But honestly, you don't even have to do that. You might just want it centralized to one side and kind of fade out. It's really however you desire the world to look. Seems like we're pretty good up here. I say probably for the 5th time, but the more I notice myself saying these things, the more that I am most likely done. Sometimes stepping back, I get looks of, oh, like that, that. Yeah, it really just comes down, yep, right there. And I kind of want this packed, but not too packed. Like how we got some nice empties in here, we'll have some down here. The cool thing is I tried to use basic paint colors for this, so if I end up not liking a portion, I can go and just grab a tube of gray and it'll match. You can kind of just erase stuff out if I end up growing to not like it as much or anything like that. I tried to keep that reversible for myself, just in possible futures. We're looking pretty good up here, I gotta say. There, oh, it's on the edge. Putting paint on the edge, call me Edgeward. Pretty good. Good, I gotta say. I think we're good up there. Pull up a seat. Pull up a seat to get this low part going. Same as before, we got some real deep spots I'm going to start with here. Just to get a baseline of what I'm looking for. And I will save this live stream so it'll be up for 24 hours for anyone who might be here late or want to go back and watch anything. Honestly, I might even try to upload these to YouTube if they go as well as this one's going. Just to give them a permanent home to look back on and you know, handful of months or a year. See how things go there. And most likely I'll stick to using this song for the majority, if not all of them. There's a few more by Marconi Union that I like too, so I'll have to give those a shot in future sessions, see if they're intrusive or not over the audio. Because some of them, I can't recall if some of them have more loud or vocal related noises to them. So I definitely want to avoid things like that, but there's a handful of ambiances that are very nice that I've found lately. This one, though, like I said, Weightless by Marconi Union is everything I do from meditating to journaling to painting to homework, work. This is top of my list for just to kind of get my subconscious latched onto something without it distracting me from the task at hand. Highly suggest you guys check out that artist. I must say, the bottom of this is super interesting compared to the top half. There's a lot more deep recessed, chunky sort of portions here, which is going to add a nice bit of visual interest. You can go crazy with this, though, if you want me to be real. I have a bag of lava rocks that are about the size of a third of a dime US 10-cent piece that you can mix into this and create very high elevated portions. And then those rocks also act as anchors for other layers to branch out of, so you can even make like stringy rock formations that kind of resemble crumbling, I think it's like shale and stuff like that. So really the sky's the limit. I kind of even want to do a fourth painting in this future series where it's just like a magma recreation. It's like black lava rock on top of it, and then I do magma-esque color palettes and dynamics in these crevices. But I mean, the sky's the limit. I even have like glow-in-the-dark medium that I've been wanting to screw around with in a painting like this. It's like, imagine just a black slab of rock and the valuable parts only appear after it's been charged in light and subjected to darkness. So I think I have a lot of really productive work ahead of me in case I'm ever, you know, during the week, especially like when friends of mine are busy or just anyone else is busy. If I have free time, I have plenty of rock sort of geology based attempts that I could make with various things. Behind this canvas here there are four? Yeah, 4 more canvases back there that are this exact size, and I think that's what I'll stick to if I do any more of these, just to, if I ever go to a gallery, I think it would look really nice one next to the other if they're all 24 by 36. Just different pieces of simulated Earth, I think would look pretty cool, especially if there's enough to where it's like alternating between black and a color like this, so like black and green, and then black and gray, and then black and whatever else I end up doing. The sky really is the limit on these. And like I was saying, I don't even think I've got... I feel like I'm just getting started on the whole series. At the end, I think there might be close to 9 of these heavy ones. Because right now I think I have 4 completed. 1, 2... Yeah, 4 of them. This will be the 5th. And then what we were just all talking about, it's at least another 4. And each of them have different weights. I try not to go over 15 pounds. Because that's just a pain in the ass for me to lift. Try to move it safely around or get hung on a wall. I don't want anyone else to maybe have trouble with that if they end up buying these, or, you know, a collector. A collector or something along those lines. I don't want any future trouble for those people. Oh, heck yeah, John. Yeah, any idea you have, I am all ears, because you got equally as a creative mind, in my opinion. There's so much fun to be had with just this style of painting. And there are so many different mediums and spray paint. Like, honestly, I was thinking of doing a smooth stepped rock pattern, to where if I sprayed spray paint from the top left, it would only make contact with certain angles of the rock. So a weird simulated light type thing. But, I mean, even then, I have acrylic inks that are watery. So, like, I might even be able to make a piece that has things like this, and you pour it at the top, and it'll just naturally find its way down. Like, we got true Willy Wonka's factory of madness in here for any sort of idea that we have. Focusing more on this corner, because I noticed there's just a lot more I'm naturally latching onto as far as decisions go. It's almost like drawing your feelings out in a way. You're just kind of following the lines that make the most amount of intrigue to your mind in the moment. So I'm not really thinking about different shapes, or, you know, if there's a weird looking shape or anything like that, because nature is very strange when it comes to making shapes and randomness, and sometimes you get things in nature that look like faces. So really, whatever naturally comes out of this material is what I'm sticking to. Paint refuel number 4 real quick. Another good part about using sand in big things like this is it really extends the amount of material you have. So if you don't have a lot of paint, but if your paint is thin enough, you can mix in about half of its weight in sand and increase the amount of volume you have to put on a canvas by 1.5 to 2 times easy. And sometimes even more. Like if you have acrylic ink, that's like a godsend if you really want to get paint to like extend and have more volume to it without using too much of the actual material. Because sand here is free. So I'm going to keep taking it. I'll be a sand pirate till the very end, because truly out of just this one and the one I did prior, I only used about a 1.5 tubes of paint for the whole thing. Like base coats wise, I mean. As far as these little details go, I use a little more here and there, but it's really significant how much both money and material you can save by just going to whether you go to a park, like a playground, and just get sand there, or if you go to, you know, a place around here where it's just kind of like a dirt pile. Occasionally you'll get like a rock and stuff like that as you're mixing in the glass jar, but I just take the rock out and throw it away if it's too big. It only has a little bit of paint on it usually anyway, so I try to keep everything as averaged out as I possibly can get it without thinking too much. I always have a ton of ideas when I'm working on something like this. Like I have a medium called crackle paste that'll literally cause the paint to crack and separate out, sort of like how magma formations do. And you can get that effect to be as drastic or subtle as you want, depending on how much paint you add. There is so much incredible potential that I still have yet to explore. Even something as simple as baking soda, I want to throw in there. You can use baking soda to get a fine, grainy texture if you want something even more fine than sand. I wouldn't use salt though, because that could react with pigments and solvents. Unless you're using watercolor, salt for watercolor is super cool, but for acrylics go, anything but salt is pretty much acceptable. You can use talcum powder, baby powder, dirt. You can use metal BBs. I've used metal BBs before, very deep into the painting to even out weight. And then you just paint over that. Anything that won't really react with your paint is potentially able to be used with stuff like this and extend the life of your supplies and everything you have. Especially nowadays where some of these tubes of paint are like $12 each. Or a thing of medium is like $20, $25. Like it's truly a godsend. That's a cool natural pattern right there. It's like 4 parallel lines almost. Honestly, what I might do is if the live stream naturally runs out of time, I might just stick to only applying this color today, and then tomorrow I might even do another live stream of the toothpick side of things where I use this end to mix in the iridescent stuff. Because there is a lot of cool visual interest I'm trying to follow with this first color paint, so might even be worth doing a second one sometime this week. And for those curious, this is regular medium body paint, so it spreads just enough without being too thin, but yet not being greasy at the same time. I do have the same color of paint in heavy body, but I don't want any brush strokes to be visible, or I don't want it to look painterly, I guess is a good term. So that's why I'm using medium body, because it'll give me just as much spread as I need per brush stroke without the pigment running thin. Too fast, I guess. When it comes time for the iridescent stuff, I think I am going to use heavy body medium in this paint. Screen turned off there, let me fix that. Get that all fixed up. Get some more paint here while the screen's refreshing. Should fix that. I didn't know I was able to see the chat on this screen until just today, so that's perfect, because I can't really see the other side of this phone from where I'm at, so it's nice to be able to see what any of you guys might be saying, or just anything else in general like that. I also have the keyboard to type, so I won't be button mashing on the screen that's also recording visuals and audio. Everything turned out very good today. I'm pleased. Super pleased, that's for sure. Yeah, this is looking really good. It still takes a little bit to dry before I can see the true color, but up here now I'd consider to be representative of how it's actually going to look. Down here we still have some lighter parts showing up on the screen and just the natural order of things, but yeah, this is exactly as I was hoping. It's nice the blue isn't too crazy, because then it won't distract from the veins of value that I put on there. As far as the more important focus. Secret between me and all you guys here, there are secret codes that I take extra step to engrave and dig into the rock as the cores are drying. And only I know those codes and exactly how they're ciphered. But there are phrases and words hidden in here. Not in the blue part, but in the actual way the rock is formed. That's not a requirement for making these, it's just a personal thing I do for significance to the universe as a whole and potential future lives I might be able to live. But so far nobody has deciphered one. And some of them are very obscure, I must admit, maybe not even meant to be solved. But some of them are more straightforward. Still, though, it's all cipher stuff. So it's not like immediately noticeable to just by looking at it. Appreciate everyone stopping in. Today's live stream has been super fun so far. I thought I'd be nervous to some extent, but no, I mean, this is really enjoyable, turns out. It's so enjoyable, in fact, that like I'm really considering this to be like a frequent. Might start a Twitch account or go live on YouTube or just one of those more regular sites that are out there. Anything but Kick or Rumble, though. Screw those. Screw those two. Oh yeah, heck yeah, John. I'm really excited to see what you're thinking. It's got me really excited. I'm sure you have something that I most likely won't think of. You have a super creative mind for all the interesting parts of life that we experience, and everything similar to that. Including all the stuff you do with vehicles, and I mean, man, the sky's the limit with your mind too. There's so much we could do. It's cool that you have ideas, because that's got me all excited. Yeah, anything from binary to braille to, I mean, man, I've even done Morse code on some of these. But we can go even further. There's a few free books of basic ciphers that we can sort of look at templates or whatever else that you have in mind. It's honestly one of my favorite parts of making stuff, is putting secrets in there and maybe not even saying anything about it. Because like the whole time that somebody might be looking at a piece, I can just rest assured, like, there's something in there. Some secret. And I definitely think the universe favors specifics, and the more specifics you jam into one concise space or project, the more powerful it becomes. And that even goes to some of the cores in here too. Like the color codes that I put underneath that nobody would even see has sometimes had intention behind it, but like with this one I didn't really think on it too much. Yeah, the braille is like perfect for this. I was like, I gotta try it out. Because the cool thing about acrylic too is you can, once it's dry, you can touch however you might need to figure out the idea, and nothing will be affected. But like binary is another one that I tend to gravitate towards. Even as crazy, I must admit, I've done hexadecimal specific colors in some of these pictures, where it's like if the people know the hex code of the hue of color they're looking at, that will lead to the cipher's key being discovered. So like the CMYK value of the color is maybe a better way to put it. I've really gone essentially off the deep end with some of these. Even putting references to you in the rest of the guys. Just saying like, all hail the foundational four, put your guys' names hidden in some of these pieces, fully hidden. And I some of them I haven't even let Instagram or anyone else know that the secret codes are in there. I just kind of do whatever might be sticking into my head at the time, or any sort of weird thought, or if I saw like a quote somewhere that I like. I've gone real psychotic with some of these. And if we put our minds together, I think we could do some crazy stuff. Like, for real. You got me all excited with what we'll talk about when we hang out. thing that Instagram is not telling me is how long the live stream has left. So I'm just going to keep going until it abruptly cuts out. So if we cut out here, just know that the live stream naturally came to an end. And I appreciate all you guys being here. But I think we got some more time. It's probably only been a half hour or so, maybe a little longer. But who knows? The universe might be moving faster than I'm aware of, putting all these lines on. Figured I'd just throw that out there in case you guys experience that. Pretty nicely, I must say, though. I feel like I'm getting the majority of all these recess spots figured out. The only thing really standing in our way with this is time. So we're just going until my eye doesn't catch anymore, to be honest. If there's a line that makes sense, I'll just throw it on there. That's a cool little... Yeah, see, the more I separate stuff out, the more of these natural forms are coming out, and it's really looking good. Nice little raised peninsula there, sort of thing. Scoot over a bit while we work on this corner. This corner's got another section of nicely located forms for me to follow. I'm going to add just a little bit more up here. Out some of this darker center. There we go. We'll get extra coverage, especially once I put on the iridescent stuff, so if things are a little bit thin, I'm not too worried about it. It's pretty much just to get the basic mineral color in here. Let's see. Readjust. I was looking at the art store to see if they had an actual metallic blue, but then I realized once I had the iridescent medium that it'll look so much better in the light if I didn't buy that and used what I already had. It's really hard to explain. Even the camera, if I get to that point, may or may not pick it up because it's such like a fine particle that reflects the light back. It's super awesome. And it's nice and white toned, So it'll take this color I'm using for the base coat and just raise it up a little bit so that it's just noticeable enough to be like, oh, there's like valuable veins of stuff running through here, but without being so washed out to where it's like unnatural. This is another big spot that might benefit from large coverage, to be honest. If I go all the way around here, down in this way, this is like all recessed compared to what's around it. Yeah, there we go. Let's get some more of that pigment on there. Yeah. Even up here, to be honest. Some of these. Might create a nice balance between these three spots. I think I'll stick to that. Because I'll put some big gem-like formations in these places once everything is done. Big old indent here and here. It's nice to use different sands from different locations too, because it does help, as long as the grain size is relatively the same. It helps me a lot too to have all those different variations and striations in the rock to make prominent once everything dries. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Prometheus, but there's elements in that movie that kind of remind me of this piece of rock too. Pretty solid movie. It's one of those alien prequels. There are some strange decisions made in that movie, but nothing bad enough where I think it's not enjoyable. It's quite creepy in a lot of ways too. I feel like our future is headed in certain directions as far as artificial intelligence goes. But yeah, it just kind of reminds me of like some of the color palette you get out of those movies. I'm thinking for sure I'll put these up on YouTube. Especially when they go as good as this one. Maybe some I will, some I won't. I just kind of let fate decide maybe how each live stream goes. And then if I do end up getting started, I'm most likely going to go to Twitch. And of course, you, John, and all the guys, or I should say all the rest of the guys, will have VIP and moderator status off the gate. Seems like the most viable thing that I've been sort of running through my mind as I've been going through this. Especially if I do longer format paintings and things that might benefit from longer than just 1 hour increments. And who knows, maybe I'll branch out to doing some like OBS related digital art stuff at the same time as I do this kind of stuff. But either way, you guys have those positions locked down once I get all that set up. Gotta make sure all the Knights of M have their position in the little journey I got going on. Well-deserved positions. I do have both a YouTube and Twitch account, so I'm thinking that is why my mind has been sort of gravitating towards those, because I've had those for quite a while, and I've like been in streams here and there, and I think like just in general having that like long presence on the site is a little better than creating a new account, because there are other streaming platforms, sure, but yeah, like I'm pretty sure those two platforms are super well versed and got enough people on there to where there's, you know, enough equal viewership for everybody to go around, and also equal chance for people to be discovered and stuff like that. Especially like just keeping the streams chill like this without background music that's too crazy. I think that'd be a nice atmosphere just to kind of be on there here and there. I think I've had my YouTube channel the longest though. That's been with me through all the, like 10 years ago when I was doing Minecraft videos before I deleted those. And then when I was doing all the 2 beads in 1 string spinning videos, and if I remember correctly, I think it's been all on that same account. And thankfully I got the same usernames on those, which is extra nice, and I think is another reason why I'm gravitating towards that, because I want to keep my name the same across all those. Especially the fact that I just got so lucky having this username like not being spelled in odd ways or in ways that are hard to sort of explain to other people. I literally have MovementVisuals on all of these platforms. Even the ones I don't really use, I've just locked down the profile. Because it's just like such a... I'm still surprised that I was able to get MovementVisuals.com. Like that part's insane. Out of all the domains that people could have got, and just over the years being registered in and out, and how people sometimes just get domains to hold on to them, like I still cannot believe I got so lucky with my website URL, let alone all the other accounts to match. Yeah, that Beglery was a good time. I still have those videos. I'm thinking maybe remastering my favorite ones and putting those back up, because it was a good time in my life, and I made some videos that I'm proud of there, so I'm thinking maybe like as I'm uploading current stuff, I'll just post like remastered like a remastered clip in between here and there, or something like that, just to bring it all full circle and make sure all the work I'm actually proud of is out there. But even some staff stuff that I'm getting back into in dance, I'm looking to really get into all those meetings, especially because, speaking of which, I totally forgot to mention, I got the entire Adobe suite from college during this time, so that's kind of what's like jump-started me on all this, because it's like, if I have access to all these programs for a year, it's like I gotta take advantage of that, because it's like you either get it through school or you pay a crap load of money to access these Adobe suites. So it's like, gotta make sure I take advantage of this sort of lucky positioning that I have with one of my classes requiring these to be used. Because like, me personally, I'm versed in Adobe stuff. Like, it's been so hard for me to try to like branch off into other stuff, especially like GIMP and things like that. Like, they're great programs by every meaning of the word, but like my brain is so hardwired to like the Adobe program nuances that it's like so hard for me to try to do something like that. Hey, Cameroonski has entered the building. Welcome, my friend. We've been moving along this painting a pretty solid amount of time now. I'm sort of just following the natural depths of the rock formation I put on here about 5 days ago. Now that it's dry, we're able to do this part, and depending on how long the live stream naturally goes on here, I might do a second live stream tomorrow or the next day to put on the little valuable veins of gemstone that I plan to do. But at this meantime, we're sort of just loosely cruising along the natural formations of how the rock dried after I applied everything earlier this week. I'm excited for the future, especially as long as I have these Adobe programs. Try to do work for anybody who might need it, or get caught up on maybe some old projects that I still have yet to remaster. I want to go through like my whole hard drive eventually and make sure that like everything that I am proud of at least is up somewhere. I think we're nearing the home stretch here, to be honest. My mind is not really latching on to any spots that haven't been painted yet. I'm picking up on some here and there, but we've moved along pretty nice in a way that I think is natural and not too noisy, but at the same time it stands out enough from the rest of the rock paintings I've done to be good enough. Maybe it's destined this last little bit of paint on my palette is all I'll need. But if not, I'll just add a little bit more and we'll continue flowing on until my heart is content. There's a cool bit of, a lot of it's hard to see on the screen, but there's a cool bit of like natural line formations and stuff going on up here. Creates a nice visual balance. Yeah, it's almost like tectonic plates are somehow influencing this generative soup of stuff. I'll definitely at some point post more high resolution close-ups of each of the series. I just recently had posted the big old grouped series of every one of these I've finished so far. But once I get another handful, maybe I'll go a little crazy with that. A little bit up there. That's why I sit down for the other half too, because having that different perspective compared to me standing kind of makes things stick out in a way that's very helpful too. I might just fill in. Yeah, that's pretty nice too. Come down that way, some up here. Sometimes it just naturally makes sense to go a little crazier on some spots. It's just like mining too. Sometimes you'll hit here, sometimes you'll hit here, sometimes you'll hit somewhere else. Like it really just... It's so amazing how all this just kind of falls in where it needs to be. Yeah, this little ridge here too is so profound. I gotta make sure we got some solid amount of paint in here. It's definitely casting one of the harsher shadows on the whole thing. We have shadows here, and like up here, kind of, that are really significant. I'm thinking we're just about there. This honestly might be one of those paintings where I sleep on it overnight. Not literally, but just to kind of reset my perspective and kind of give my eye a chance to realize something it might have missed or something else that could be added. That's like one of the best ways to sort of ensure that you've done everything you wanted to do. As hard as it may feel, creating a piece like this, to like want to stop and sleep on thoughts about it or anything like that, it's truly like one of the best way to get results on keeping things fresh and make sure I don't drive myself crazy looking at the same thing for too long. Because it definitely is possible to like go too far on some things, but not really this. I just want to make sure I don't miss any sort of significance here. Yeah, it's a nice, almost purple gray too, which is really just making me happy about it even more. There's a handful of different grays I could have done, and I was kind of bouncing back and forth between like a warm gray, more like a tan neutral, or like a almost as purple gray as you can get before the purple goes away, and I think this was the best choice I could have done. Yeah, here especially, it's like we got... It's so amazing to look at a way that the camera really doesn't pick up, because, I mean, I truly feel like I'm about to land on this geometric... It could almost be a sky view of a planet, too, for all we know. This one specifically looks a lot like some kind of planet compared to the other ones. But still, at the same time, is nicely following the theme I'm trying to stick to. Taking small moments to look at things and see if anything kind of follows the rivers I've created, but without going too far. So far, so good. We're still cruising along here. It's also good to use medium body acrylic paint so things dry, but yet not too fast or too slow. Because I've had that little glob of paint on my palette for a solid bit now, and it really wasn't dry at all. I think I'm going to refresh paint one more time, and then we'll call it here. I'm going to do a smaller batch this time. Put it over here. Yeah, I think we're pretty much there. To be real, getting to that point where I'm sort of staring at it longer and longer and thinking to myself, there's not really much catching my eye. Spot right there. Nice. Yeah, I think after this glob of paint is done, I will call it a day. Because I could start the gemstone portion, but like I said, I think this will benefit, especially the amount of blue I put on certain sections. I want to be sure that it's dried for enough time to where I'm representing everything right and making sure the spots of color that I intend to be solid are actually solid. Oh yeah, John, this camera specifically tends to wash stuff out a little bit, but I also think it might be because of the light. I'm sure over time I might get more familiar, like if I'm able to set settings for exposure or stuff like that. But yeah, this is so much fun to look at. There's this significant spot right there. Yeah, this might be the universe working with me here. After this little bit of paint is up, that might be exactly where I will obey the order of naturally occurring things. I don't want to force the universe too hard today. I'll probably just go over a few of these lines that are already here. Make sure the edges aren't left out. this in right here. Another thing that's not super important, but I'm keeping an eye out for, are any parts of the core colors that I put on before the gray that might be peeking through. So whether that be in spots I put this color or a gray over later, I want to make sure no pink comes through, because there are pink cores in this one. Some of them I use brown, and some of them I use more of like a pink color if I want like cooler overall values in the base. Kinda forgot this spot here, but it's all good. Down there. Right. At the very end, I'll center the camera right in front of this piece and maybe even turn some of these harsh lights off to maybe influence a better view. Because yeah, I think we'll be coming to a nice natural stopping spot before Instagram actually kicks me off. Because yeah, I think there is a time limit, I just have no idea. We are nearing the end of our little paint blob on here. Just kind of doing nothing really new, but just touching up some spots that I want to have stand out a little more than what they ended up trying to be. It is nice though, because the way it dries kind of gives me a natural fade out too, so I don't have super harsh lines or anything that looks off. I'm sure my post onto the Instagram story will be even better quality of this, considering how it'll use my actual camera software and not the formatting that the Instagram app uses. Let's put some right in there, just to make some stuff stick out a little better. Oh, there's a good spot right there. And the edges do match the color of the base coat. That is a rule I try to stick with here, so it looks like an actual piece of rock that has been shaped to this size. Because I could make the borders black or more like how my other paintings are, but for these specifically, I try to keep it as true to the sort of the theme of the idea as possible. Some spots will be a little more covered. At this point, I'm sort of keying in the visual prominence that I want certain areas to attract our eye to, so that everything remains balanced, but yet still not too crazy. So like some of these will be brighter than the others. Right in here's a good way to go. It is useful to use different grips of the brush, because that also encourages randomness. I think I'm going to stand up for this last part. Get another, just a final view of what I might miss up here. Yeah, I'm starting to notice some stuff that I can improve. But still not too crazy. I want to preserve some of these untouched spots to keep it like that book I read. I'll flash the book on screen too at the end too if I remember to do so. It's got pictures of all the different sort of functions of the universe and how minerals behave and how certain things grow. It's really cool. It's all articulated through computer programs with some examples of nature throughout, but it's mostly sheer data on graphs and how things get placed and how shapes are influenced and sort of naturally chosen. Yeah, I'm going to make this solid. Raise it up here. This is not prominent. Extend it out here too. Yeah, see, it's good I stood up because my eye just kind of resets. And then I can see, like, whoa, there's some spots super deep in that I forgot, or maybe just didn't think of addressing at the time. I think, and then we will be all set. I might not even use up all this paint. I don't want to go too far just for the sake of using it. But if I find spots, I'll throw some on there. When it comes to this kind of stuff, wasting paint isn't really a concern because I go small amounts instead of one big pile. It's kind of like hair cutting. You can always add more, but once you take away or add paint to the palette per se, it's too late. So I'll just take things nice and slow. A little bit up here. Pretty cool. Layers of this color being put on because it really just adds more to the texture to some degree. As long as there's not like bristle strokes in it, I can let a lot of these things just dry up and then they'll just naturally blend into the sand parts. Yeah, I think that is it for the color. Oh, use the last bit on my brush for this part. Siree. Put that down, throw that into the water. I'll grab that book real quick since we got time left. Oh yeah, there's two of them. Highly recommend for sure. I'm still getting through this one, but both of these are the same sort of theory. Same sort of theoretical basis for stuff. It's just packed full of explanation and theory behind particles and all that good stuff. Just just have it as part of my library in case I want to have ideas maybe for future stuff down the road. But what I'll do here, lift this up, give this a nicer view straight on as I say bye to you all. I think this is a good enough angle to sort of see what I'm seeing. Keep everything rather equal. Yeah, this is pretty much what I saw in real life, minus maybe a little bit of quality issue, but I mean, hey, I'll take this time to say goodbye. Appreciate this little peaceful time you guys shared with me. I'll definitely be doing more of these, and I'll put this one on YouTube as like a nice checkpoint, but hope you all have a good night. I'm gonna head to bed myself. I got class tomorrow. But yeah, appreciate all you guys. Hey, thanks, Dad. I'll definitely shoot you a text as well, see what you've been up to, and we'll get some stuff figured out. But alrighty, friends, I am out for the night. See you guys later. Hey, heck yeah, John. Hope you have a good night. I'll shoot you a text as well. Alrighty, guys, see ya.